Ryan Jarrell here for MMA News, and I'm very, very excited to have my next guest on the program. He just defended his featherweight title at BKFC 62 with a unanimous decision victory over Bryan Duran. And of course, it is King Kai Stewart on the show. Kai, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Back in Big Sky Country. I'm back in my home after a crazy week in Florida. Super fast paced compared to the Montana lifestyle, but yeah, I've been welcomed with open arms. We're getting a King Kai burger ready to go at a local diner, and life is good. Life is good. We're grateful.
That is fantastic, man. Yeah, life is good for the champ. And what a fight. And you beat a really tough guy. He was previously unbeaten here. You're going into enemy territory. You're hearing the boos. It looked like that even locked you more in. Is that the case?
Yeah, I was a 16-year-old kid, 17 maybe, whenever I won my first high school state title, and I got booed off the mat. And as a kid, like, it's like, dude, what? We're in high school. I just, why am I getting booed off the mat? And it was like a unanimous boo. Like, it was crazy. And so, I've been there and I've competed 1,000 times, and I've like it definitely turned me on because it's like, wow, all these people are going to be fans after this fight. I'm about to become the king of the BKFC, and they're going to have no choice but to bend the knee. So it was that's very respectful to the Miami crowd. Like, I feel like, it was a Rocky Four moment. If you can change, I can change, we all can change, So it was super fun, and I was grateful to be the heel and the bad guy in the story for once.
Yeah, what a great analogy. Rocky Four, one of the all-time classics.
Oh yeah.
Was that a knockdown in round one, or did he slip?
So rewatching it back, I landed a punch and he fell. And by rule, if a punch, like, it isn't my, I said in interviews that his footwork was not on my level. And if he can't stay on his feet and I hit you with a punch, to me that's not a slip.
Mhm.
So I would love to, honestly, rewatching the video. It looks like I have four knockdowns plus him turning around. Like, I should have had five, 8 counts. And I truly believe that. Maybe on my step back hook, but it's like I hit him and he slipped the way that I hit him. Like, I don't know how much more I had to do, but my striking was on point, and I definitely earned that victory.
And you landed that big left in round two. Were you really starting to kind of find your timing at that point?
Yeah, honestly, the game plan remains the same, and I told everybody that I wasn't gonna clinch. I'm learning how to box. I'm gonna try a box, but we saw what I did to HD. If it ain't fixed, don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the game plan was to go in there and smother and clinch. I barely clinched. I smothered, but I threatened the clinch, and kind of like Khabib versus McGregor. Whenever Khabib went to the and Khabib landed the right hand, it was the same thing. Khabib is so good at the takedowns. Khabib is so good, and I'm so good at the clinch. People expect it, so
Mhm.
my boxing got better. So I would definitely found my flow. I had a KO bonus that obviously I didn't get. I had it signed, so apparently I was like, we're standing and banging today.
Yeah, and again, man, this really for me, from all the fights that I've seen from you in BKFC, I think you might, can put it at the top of the heap there, just because like of how much respect I have for Duran. Like again, like I said, undefeated fighter. How good was it to take give him his first L?
That was my first somebody's O has got to go, and I just knew deep down in my heart that I was meant to be here. I was meant to do this, and at this point, I don't think there's any stopping me. I have There's not a lot in the 145-pound division. Poor little Jim is gonna get it because he's the cream of the crop at 145, and I think I'm gonna make it that look easy too. So um, uh, it's this is all just crazy. It's surreal, and Conor McGregor follows me on Instagram now. I've hopefully I can put the camera back really quick. I've had one poster of any athlete in my entire life. It's one only. There he is.
It's a good one to
I've
have.
I've manifested all of this, and now I have to fix this. So apologies if since this isn't live. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, it always happens. I hate showing it, but I love the stat.
Yeah, that's a
Dang,
that's a
dang, my bad,
superb.
dude.
All good. That's a superb
There we
poster
go.
of Conor McGregor, the notorious one.
Yep.
And going into this fight too, Kai, you know, you had to be careful of Duran's power.
Yes.
Did he ever really have you hurt?
Uh, he definitely made me respect his power quick, and But the crazy thing is I made him tired and I broke him, but he had just as much heat on his punches in the fifth round as he did the first round. He was dangerous that entire time, and I just kept coming forward. In terms of having me hurt and like I never got dizzy. He didn't daze me. I don't think he buckled my knees. Some of the camera angles weren't great with the BKFC, with the live stream. But I was never like, oh fuck. That's why
Right.
I was moving forward the entire time. If I was hurt, I would definitely take my step back, reset, breathe, gain my consciousness because I don't think Duran wanted to press me. I knew that he needed to conserve his energy. So if I was hurt, I would have definitely taken that step back and breathed, took a deep breath.
Well, that clearly didn't happen. And again, this here it continues to just move you right up the ladder as far as the most popular fighters in BKFC. I do want to ask you though, because this was your fourth decision victory in a row. How disappointing is that? I know you want to go out there and get finishes. Is that something that's on your mind?
Well, I do want to get like a knockout. I want to knock these guys out. Now that I'm actually learning how to box, we're good. I had no want or need to stand and bang with nobody in MMA. And I told my coaches this. I said, hey, I need to know enough striking to grab their legs. So I'll take down anybody in the world. I'll choke anybody in the world out. I'm gonna do this. And so my stand-up journey started like 2 weeks before my BKFC debut, and it showed. You could tell that I had no idea how to throw a punch. Um, but I'm just progressing and progressing. I want that knockout. I think Jimmie's going to be my knockout. I think it's time. Standing up against him, it felt really good. I knew that I'm he's going to be the one, and unfortunately, it has to be him because I have a lot of respect for him. But I'm glad that he has his police career now. I know he's going to get a good pension for that. So I think he's going to be in a good spot to be able to step away from the sport after I'm done with him. So, um, but yeah, if four decisions is a little much in bare knuckle. 5 rounds in bare knuckle is a lot, but I'm willing to. I just want to break people. Wins and losses will come. I just want to break them.
Do we have a time frame for that Rivera fight? Have you been told anything of what to expect?
I haven't, but if you just look at my history between my number one contender fight and my title fight, that was 8 months. You used to look at the time between the time I won my belt to the second defense, 6 months, second defense to third defense, 6 months. So I'm going to definitely think that especially because I believe that I'm starting to gain star power and I'm that guy in BKFC. I think we'll see a main event towards the end of the year, and I would love the October, November, December. September is just a little bit too soon for me.
Mhm.
I mean, it's bare knuckle. I have to heal. I'm pretty banged up. Even my shoulder, because I blocked with my shoulder a lot, is like raw hamburger over here. But in the end, I'm in a position where I'm confident against anybody they throw me in there against. So if they called me tomorrow and said, "Hey, September 6th for Salt Lake City," I'm obviously going to do it. I don't say no to anybody or nobody. But as the king, I would hope that I would have adequate time to uh, rest and recover, and then I'd get adequate time to train because um, I want a good camp. Jimmie Rivera is a tough haul, and like I said, I do want to knock him out. I want him to go to sleep, and it's going to be a tough one. So I want that training time.
I know this is going to be way in the future here. We're still a ways out before that fight happens officially, but give me an official prediction of that fight. When you close your eyes and you envision how it goes, how is it going to play out?
I just have I said it in another interview before. It's kind of a weird, sick wrestling, sadistic thing where I love breaking people. So first and foremost, I know Jimmie Rivera he's been in wars in the UFC. He's gone the 5 minute rounds, but it's different being in there with me. It's the DL difference, and I envision myself breaking him. He's not going to want to be there, and that's whenever I get to knock him out. And I do believe that I'm going to knock him out because it's time. And now that I'm actually really honing in my boxing skills. We saw perfectly clear that I don't have to clinch you. And my reach, my power is getting better. Shout out DL Training Systems, the DL difference. We're gonna knock him out. It's gonna be a finish, and I'm gonna get a fat bonus for it from Mr. McGregor.
Let me ask you a little bit about Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. Obviously, that
Yep.
boxing match is around the corner. How will Perry's BKF success, how will that impact that boxing fight?
Let me just say this first and foremost. Hats off to Mike Perry. He's going to go make his payday. And I think that every fighter needs to take the break whenever they get it. Whenever you get that $1 million fight, whenever you get that fight that's going to break the internet, you take it. So shout out to him for getting that opportunity. And now he's definitely going to be set for lifetime with money, I believe. Is you got to do it right. You got to do
Mhm.
everything properly. But he's going to be set and his family's going to be set. So hats off to him. I think that if you think Jake Paul is going to hit uh, him harder and better than Michael Venom Page, Chad Mendez, not Chad Mendez, Eddie Alvarez, even Luke Rockhold rocked Mike Perry, was looking good until he quit. You know, he couldn't handle bare knuckle. Um, you're crazy. Like I think that Jake Paul is, I believe he's an athlete. Everybody just says, "Oh, he's just a YouTuber." No, I think he's serious about it, and he doesn't look terrible in his fights. But I think Mike Perry's going to get it done. Just a different dog. He's proven he has a chin. He's a tough guy to set down, and I think he's going to come forward and pressure. It's going to be a different type of pressure than Jake Paul has felt before. A lot of people have just kind of boxed with him instead of came at him. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely taking Mike Perry. I'm gonna bet that line for sure. And in the end, I hope it's a great fight. And the better Mike Perry does, the better BKFC
Mhm.
does. So, especially as I'm stepping into a king position, hats off to Mike Perry. This is not hate on him, but he's leaving BKFC. He's not done forever. Maybe, who knows? He's about to make a lot of money, but but he is leaving, and I'm a company guy. I made my pro debut in BKFC. I'm here to stay. I'm here to run it, and him stepping away just leaves a nice shiny throne for fit for a king, and I am King Kai, so it's gonna happen.
I love it, man. How do you think Jake Paul would do in BKFC?
Like I said, he's an athlete. He was a wrestler growing up. And wrestlers stick together. I think everything's different till you get hit with a bare knuckle. Because listen, I've never been in a street fight, so I have no idea how I was gonna react. But I reacted way. I've been hit hard as fuck, and I reacted in a lot different manner than say, um, Luke Rockhold. Like no hate to him, and to each their own, but everything's different till you get hit in the face with a bare knuckle. So you have to be built for it. Just to say, oh, I think he's built for it, it'll be tough. But as a wrestler, I, he's going to know the rule set. He's going to be able to pressure people. He's going to be able to get on the head like I do. And I mean, we heard it from the commentators themselves. I'm revolutionizing bare knuckle because I use every form of the rule. I'm not a boxer. I'm a fighter. So, I think Jake Paul, if he could take the punishment, if he could take that initial bare knuckle punch, I think that he'd do really well, especially having that wrestling background.
Mm. It'll be interesting to see what does happen in the future.
Yeah,
I mean, this BKFC just continues to grow and get more and more popular. So
yeah.
I think we're going to see more and more high profile names come over and test their luck here. I did want to ask you one thing here about someone that I know fairly well. He's from my hometown area. It was very highly publicized for BKFC. And, for him, not in a good way. And I'm talking about Chris Sorrow and what happened at the end of his fight and what David Feldman said. What is your thoughts on all of that? And if you could give Chris some advice, to pick himself back up, and get back, on the horse, so to speak, like what would you tell him?
Man, I'm a little punchy right now. I was watching that fight live, and it's almost as if I turned away for a couple seconds, and I need to rewatch it. But if you're having people think that, I think there was just an honest misunderstanding. And the good news is he woke up the next morning and the sun came out. The sun comes up tomorrow, and in wrestling, we get taken down. We got to move to that next best thing. So yeah, you did that. I think you take your lick, you go in there and you ask for forgiveness. If it was a misunderstanding, I don't know the whole story, so I can't speak on somebody, but if you quit, it's hard to help you. It's hard to help you, but you take that lick, you apologize, you try to get back in there and you train your ass off to make sure that never happens again. And as long as you get in there and like you get cracked and have to take a knee, like it's okay. But just like nothing really happened in that fight, and the doctors were asking him questions, or he was getting asked a question, and I think there was a misunderstanding which made him look like a quitter. And to get the Quitter of the Night award, I mean, that's pretty tough to come back on. But like I said, the sun will always come up tomorrow, and it takes a lot of balls just to get in there to fight. So it kind of sucks that we have to hear that from our bosses. But I mean, if Dave Feldman knows what he's doing with bare knuckle. Bare knuckle is a fucking powerhouse right now, and Dave Feldman just proves to be a G time and time again. So you kind of got to take what he says with a grain of salt and smile and wave and keep on moving forward. Because I mean, Dave Feldman, he does care and he wants to turn us into superstars, and he wants BKFC to be a place where us real life gladiators can get in there and be the superstars. So hats off to everybody. As long as you get in the ring, you're a dog to me.
Yeah, very well said. And who doesn't love a comeback story? So,
Right.
I'd love to see Chris get back in there and have some success here moving forward in his career. Tell me a little bit about camp for you. I know you train with Brady Heaston. Who are kind of like the main guys that you have around you to get you ready for these BKFC fights?
So I started in Great Falls, Montana at Flow State Athletics, and I did win two world titles out of here before I went off to Spokane with Brady Heaston, Coach Dylan Lemery, DL Training Systems, uh, and Coach Coral Devereaux with Eagle Stone Boxing. It was Brady Heaston, Alvin, one of the lower level pros. Michael Chiesa was in the room. I'm like I said, punching. I'm drawing blank on names. Caden, he's a I want to say a two-time high school state champion, wrestler. So he came at me just like Bryan Duran did. So shout out to them. And I was training with Sick Jitsu with Brady Heastand. Rick Little was around there. Alvin, Caden, Chiesa, all those guys. And then I was also at Warrior Camp, with Coach Pablo Alfonso, and I also trained at Hamidadai. It's a Muay Thai gym out of Spokane, and I got to spar with their guys. And then I had Eagle Stone Boxing Club. A lot of people in combat sports are so afraid to cross train. They're afraid to offend so and so. There's a lot of Spokane beef that I hear about, but I literally went into every single gym with a smile on my face, and I was willing to learn. And one of my favorite partners and best people that I got to scrap with was Brady Heastand, and he gave me that shout out in the UFC octagon, and that was one hell of a way to kick off fight week. And Brady, he's a grappler, but his guy was a boxing heavy guy, so we worked perfectly, and he came at me just like Bryan Duran was supposed to come at me. Uh, and it's exciting because we're on the same deal training systems team, and we have a team atmosphere going, and momentum is a real thing, and our momentum is freaking crazy right now, including Melissa Maya. She won. I think she's 7-0 now in her MMA career. Brady Heastan, myself. We have Stevan Micic, who's a front runner for the Olympic gold freestyle world medalist. Another guy from Africa. I can't pronounce his name, so I won't even try, but he's also in the Olympics for DL Training Systems. So DL Training Systems, if you want a great strength and conditioning program, hit him up on Instagram and tell him Kai sent you, because we are on a train, and that train is not stopping for nobody. So hop on board, because it like buckle up. It's time to grind.
Do you think that you'll ever pursue a professional MMA career again, or is that not something that you're thinking about right now?
I mean, it's not something I'm thinking about right now, but I definitely have unfinished business in MMA, and people, it's become more respectful now that we're both in our own lane. But that unfinished business is Sean O'Malley, and I will fight him one day. I don't care if it's an MMA bare knuckle, but I bleed black and yellow right now. I'm the king of the BKFC, and I. I want to stay here. I want to help blow this motherfucker up. Is a quote unquote from Dave Feldman, and I want to help blow it up. And if I can get that fight in any style, listen, I'm a wrestler, so I would fight Sean O'Malley in bare knuckle, MMA. Hell, let's make it Muay Thai just because he's supposed to beat me there. But we have to have a King of Montana fight one day. But he's in his route. I'm in my route. I'm gonna probably bet on him every single time because Montana toughness is different. But I would love that King of Montana title, and I would represent it really well. So that fight will happen down the road. But other than that, no. I've always been like, oh, I want to use bare knuckle as a stepping stone, but there's no stepping stone. I am the stone, and I am the money fight in bare knuckle now.
Can't wait to see you back in there, Kai. I really mean that. You're must see TV. Anyone that follows BKFC, they tune in to watch you compete, my man. And you just go in there, fight in, fight out. You know, you show your heart, and you're fan friendly to watch, which is I think very very important. And David Feldman knows that for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to say, man, for a pleasure interviewing you here for the first time. I hope that we can
Yeah.
do it again, maybe
I
before
love
the
it.
Jimmie Rivera fight.
Yeah, let's absolutely just either have Ed hit me up or hit me up on Instagram. I love every single interview that I can do because I want to express who I am and I want to express myself because I have a lot of gratitude that I want to spread. I want to spread the gratitude is the best attitude. I'm happy for where I'm at and I get to compete for money and a lot of people would die to be in the situation that I'm in and so for that I'm grateful.
Again, pleasure interviewing you. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Any sponsors you want to thank? Anything you want to plug? The floor is yours.
Yeah, first and foremost, shout out to Native Grown and Silverleaf. Native Grown, the best flower in the state of Montana. Silverleaf is the best edibles and THC water. It is my pleasure to pimp these guys out because they have helped my career tremendously, both inside and out. Shout out Dude Wipes, the mustache given to you by Death Grip Wax. We have Bucked Up Energy. I'm officially sponsored by Bucked Up now, which has been a dream come true ever since I found out about their products. This was pre BKFC. And then shout out Alpine Touch, Montana's premier spice. And from there, my Instagram name, if verification will let me change the name, I will be changing the name soon. But for now, please follow my Instagram, Kai HB145. And I'm also that on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. Facebook is King Kai Stewart. I hope it's changed by now. If not, it's Kai Hefty Bag Stewart. And I am the king of the BKFC, so expect the socials to reflect that. So thank you guys for your time and tune in. I'm taking bare knuckle to the top.